Welcome to the Whitetail Obsession Podcast with Dave Richmond and co-host Chris Worthing, where we talk and teach everything deer and turkey hunting related. Follow along as we help teach you tips and techniques about hunting, food plots, and habitat management strategies that everyone can use.
Podcast 93, I'm Dolus.
It's 94, by the way.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, man, I messed up.
Woo!
Podcast
Podcast 94.
Podcast 94, I'm Dolus and Chris shot a doe.
Yes. One doe in.
One doe in. Where did you shoot this thing?
I was going to make a joke, but
No.
I'll try to be serious. I shot it
For
in
once.
the destination plots. In the where did
So
I
you
shoot
got a-
that thing?
you got a couple-
It was in the clover. So where I shot that at.
Okay, so you got a couple blends over there, so it was actually eating, it
That was
preferred
comeback.
the
That was
domain
comeback.
clover.
Yep, domain comeback kid.
That's where it was feeding at.
Yep.
And that was what, early October.
That was last Saturday, which would
Okay,
have
so
been the
week ago.
5th, I think. Yeah,
Mm,
October
yeah,
5th, I think, was the first day here in PA.
nice. Morning
Yep.
or evening?
That was 5:30 p.m.
Nice. Now, was there other deer in the area?
Oh, there was tons of deer in the field, and
So where were they feeding at?
the deer I shot, there was actually deer to my left, and I had a strip of, well, I shouldn't say strip, but a small plot of the wingman,
Mm-hmm.
the new one out from domain, and all the deer were in that domain plot because it's small and tender right now, and they was all hanging out in there, and this buck come running across the field like a big bully, and he come prancing into the plot and was looking around at everything like, which one am I going to chase first, and he started coming at them, and they dispersed, and they come running over in front of me, and they got over there and settled down a little bit and started eating again, and this large doe and a couple small ones were around me there, and she was coring away pretty hard, but I knew it was a good shot, so I took it, and it hit right behind the ribs on the close side and come right out the armpit of the opposite. So,
Nice.
the old adage where they tell you to aim at the opposite side leg, so that's pretty much what I did, and it came out the armpit there. Severely lethal shot. You take a gut, a liver, a diaphragm, and at least one lung when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened.
Nice.
And she dropped in view. She suffered a little bit though, because I one lunged her and livered her, so
It's upsetting.
I mean, yeah, it gets to you a little bit, and that's going to be the topic of today's podcast. We're going to talk about shooting does.
You're crying.
I almost shed a tear there, but but yeah, I watched her go over. At first she ran fast like a double lung. She ran across the field, and she slowed down, was wagging her tail real hard, and she went down. Head up though. She kept her head up. And after about 5 minutes, she put her head down. I thought, that's it. So I started watching the rest of the field, thinking, well, I've got more doe tags and there's bucks in the area. Maybe I'll shoot another one. And I happened to look back over, and she wasn't where I last seen her. And she'd gotten up, went 5 or 10 feet, and went back down, So she did. I mean, I'm going to be honest. She suffered a little bit, and
Well, I mean,
it bothers me,
I mean, it
but
happens.
that's the way a broadhead kills, from bleeding out. And since when I did autopsy her, I did not get both lungs that I could tell. It looked like I did only single lung her. So, it took a little while for her to bleed out a little bit,
Well, you still
between
got gut
between
and
liver, yeah, between liver and lung. It took a
right.
little while, but she was running away, I could see blood on both sides. I mean, I knew it was inevitable, but
Mhm.
uh, when I looked over there and I saw her, I was like, oh man, am I gonna have to get down? Because like I said, it bothers me. I've actually climbed down before and went over and finished deer off.
I've
You
done that
know,
too, yeah.
and it's not ideal, I guess. Um, I would say if you don't have that feeling in you, I wouldn't call you a real hunter. um,
Mhm.
I think that's kind of heartless. I don't think anybody should be that ignorant about it. I would say that you should have respect for these animals and try to kill them as cleanly and quickly as you can.
Mhm.
Just the actual angle that she was on, it was a nice quartering away, but what she did is she turned to look backward, I guess, when I shot, and so I didn't get both lungs. I only got the single. So I mean, that kind of stuff happens.
Mhm.
Not that it was a bad shot. It was a superior shot, but
Mhm.
I thought I thought I got both, but I only got a single when I did gut her out and checked it out real well. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people I know that won't shoot does. They feel too bad for them. Um, I don't know why they feel bad for them, but I guess the main topic is you know, would you shoot a doe with fawns?
Um, Probably not.
No,
No. I and I know there was always a debate about it, whether the fawns will be okay and all that.
right?
And I believe by the time hunting season rolls around that they will be okay.
Sure.
Um, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I won't shoot a doe with fawns.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, I think if somebody does it, I don't have anything bad to say about it.
right?
For me personally, I don't like it. But I mean, this whole doe thing, uh, like I think we made a, that's what we said we were going to talk about
Yeah.
last week. But
Hmm.
because you had shot that doe,
Hmm.
and there it was probably about 10 years ago. I used to hunt this farm out in Montgomery County, and I had shot a doe early in the morning. It was opening day early muzzleloader. Um, and I shot a doe. Well, I ended up spining it,
Hmm.
and I've done it in the past. A couple times. You accidentally spine it or whatever, and when it falls over, it's yelling. It's
Oh,
bah
yeah.
bah.
That
So
noise is horrible.
I'm like, oh my god. So I reloaded, shot it again, and in Maryland, you can shoot multiple does. You don't need like a special doe tag or nothing like that. So I finished it off. I sat there. It was still early. Well, I heard multiple shots way out in the distance. Well, it was about 9:30, and I heard something coming up to my right. So I looked back, and a doe was limping. It was limping, and I got my
Hmm.
binos real quick, and it had this huge hole in it. And I have it on. It's one of my YouTube videos where this deer is coming in years ago, and it's walking in limping, and it had this giant hole in it, and I don't know how it survived.
Hmm.
And it just like I was like, oh my god. So I put the gun up, boom, shot that one, and it ran up like 40 yards or something and died. But ever I don't know if it was that moment, but I don't know if it's because I got older or whatever, but I don't like shooting does. Now I
Hmm.
did shoot one last year at the farm because there was it started getting to the point where some needed to be taken out. So I shot one last year. Actually, we shot two of them last year. Um, but I just don't like it. I'll do it. From a management standpoint, you got
Yeah.
to use your own judgment. I think a lot of people that you know buy tags and stuff, they shoot does just to shoot does. When
Mm.
and then they complain the following year or 5 years down the road that they don't have no deer.
Mm.
Well, and then you ask them, they're like, "Oh, well, they gave me a tag." Well, just because you have a tag doesn't mean you need to shoot a doe,
Mm.
you know? and you're complaining there's no deer, well, how about not shoot a doe for a couple years and let it uh, rebuild a little bit. Now, I think if the state or whatever gives you the tags, then you should use your best judgment based on that specific area that you're hunting. I don't think it's cool just to shoot a deer or a doe just for the heck of it. There should be a reason, Um, specifically if I think most hunters don't need to shoot deer to feed their family. I think that's just an excuse to shoot one or post a or look cool or post a picture on Facebook or something. I think most people can buy their groceries and they don't need to shoot a deer for the meat. Um, and then there are some people that do. There are some very unfortunate uh, people out there that maybe they can't afford to buy meat. So it's I think it just needs to be you just need to use your best judgment and be sensible about it. If I have to shoot a doe, I will. Um, but technically, I mean, I'll be honest, it kind of saddens me a little bit to shoot one. It's the mother, it gives birth to the fawns and everything, and it kind of hits me a little different.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I have the thought process of where I'm at right now. We're overrun with does,
mhm.
so right now it is a technical thing where I'm trying to take some out.
Yeah,
And obviously we eat the snot out of it. I mean, we do eat a lot of the ground meat. I don't get special cuts. I usually, no matter if I'm butchering it or my butcher butchers it, we get the back straps and we grind it all.
that's what I do. Yep.
And one of them, one deer a year, I usually do get stew meat cut out of it. Just stew
Hmm.
it up into chunks. The wife likes that for making uh making soups and things, or stir fry type things. That
Do you donate any up there?
I don't donate it because I don't have a facility in the area that does that. So I donate it personally. I find people that need it or want it, and I have not ever charged anybody yet. But I was telling you before we got on today that the butcher now, I believe, is charging like $100 to butcher one. So, like, if somebody wants one, I might start asking for at least half of it or something.
Yeah, I
So
mean, you
like,
should.
like at
It
least,
costs money to shoot the thing.
yeah. Well, it costs a lot of money to hunt, period.
Yeah, it
And
does.
and that's why you just said, you know, that there's some people out there that say, "Oh, I need this to feed my family." Geez, you could go buy groceries for probably what it costs you to hunt.
Hmm.
By the time you buy a tag and an extra set of broadheads or something, new arrows, this, that, and the other, all the new technology out there, you know, it's getting to be a rich man sport where you kind of need money to go hunt. So you're not really doing it to eat. Now, I do it and eat it, but I would never say I gotta have this to feed my family. If it got that bad, I'd be shooting them out the back door with a gun. I
Hmm.
wouldn't be out there wasting my time archery hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we love to archery hunt, and I also, you know, like I was just saying, I need to take some out because we are overrun.
Hmm. Well,
So
I'm at,
I
you
do
know,
I do that.
well, here in Maryland, we don't have to pay to donate. All you gotta do
Okay.
is drop the deer off, and then the
Oh,
butcher, they have to be enrolled in the program.
yeah,
Feeding whatever it is, feeding the hungry.
yeah.
Um, but you just have to, check. You still have to check it in, and then you drop it off, and then a butcher, deals with it. And then
Mhm.
they process it, and then donate it.
I
Um,
just found out last year that there was one in my area, but the guy retired last year,
mm,
so that
um,
doesn't work for me.
I feel like I'm at the point now to where it's more of the. I mean, like you just said, I love bow hunting. But I'm more into it now of it being a challenge.
Mm,
So, like this morning, I could have shot a buck. I could have
mhm,
shot a small buck. And then years ago, I may have shot it because I got excited and it was fun to do. Well,
yeah,
now I'm more of it being the challenge of, seeing a certain buck on a trail camera and then maybe targeting it.
Yeah.
And I am by no means a trophy hunter. I don't need to shoot a giant buck. Um, but it's more of the challenge of, hey, I've seen this 130 or 140-inch 8-pointer on camera,
Hmm.
and I'm targeting that buck. And if
Right.
I don't shoot that buck on public land, whatever it is, these days I've been on public land a lot, but um, if I don't shoot it, I'm okay with that. Like I don't
Yeah.
need to shoot a 4-pointer or something to justify. You know what I mean? Like
To use the tag.
yeah, to use the tag. I don't need to do that. A lot of people do in
Hmm.
certain areas, and then they're complaining 5 years down the road that they don't have no deer, they don't have nothing large. And if you do it that way, if you want to shoot a four, I don't care. You can shoot whatever you want.
Hmm.
But that's just where I'm at right now. Of it being more of the challenge to shoot a larger buck, I should say.
Right.
If I don't shoot one in any specific year, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, as far as the bucks go for me, if I didn't get a quota of does in archery, I will shoot whatever is legal comes along, you know. But I as well, if it gets to rifle season, and I haven't shot a buck. I'm looking for something a little larger if I already have my doe quota.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not just looking to shoot a 4 point, you know,
Hmm.
just because
That's
it's
just where
legal.
I'm at.
Yeah.
Where if
Yeah,
somebody
no,
wants to,
see,
that's
now I don't have a problem shooting does with fawns. To be honest, I
mhm,
really don't. I would never frown upon that on anybody,
yeah.
because like you were just saying that those deer will make it with or without mom. But I mean, I know it is a sad feeling. You're taking out mom, but you know they're well on their way. And most deer in Pennsylvania don't get past the age of 2 or 3 anyhow. You
Hmm.
know, so I mean, let's be real. If she already had twin fawns, she's probably somewhere around 3,
Hmm.
so
Well, here in Maryland, like our season starts so early,
mm,
September 7th. So when you see a doe with fawns,
yeah,
they're
they got to be
little.
small still.
They're spotted. They're
Yeah,
small. You guys are a month later,
right.
so they have time to gain a little extra poundage.
Yeah, normally the spots are gone by season.
Right.
Every once in a while, you'll see one that's a little
Hmm.
fuzzy, but yeah, usually by the time October rolls around, they're well on their way,
Hmm.
because it won't be too long. We'll be getting frosts, you know,
Yeah.
and it'll start getting cold, and they're gonna have winter coats. And yeah, I mean, it's upon us, folks.
Well, I
And
saw some.
the old raw frozen scents were working this morning.
Yeah, you had
Uh,
one to check it out.
I had one come in and check out a nice scrape, and it was a mock scrape that I'd made. I put a camera on it. I put a stand on it a couple weeks back, and I had some. I've got like I've got two on camera there that I wouldn't mind shooting. And there's like two others that are using that same scrape. So I got like 4 bucks cruising that, but the larger ones obviously are more hit and miss.
Hmm.
And the little ones are like clockwork though. 7 a.m. every morning,
Well, they'll be
And
showing up here in the next few weeks, bigger ones.
yeah, I hope so, you know. But yeah, this whole doe thing, like I've got guys in my territory that frown upon it big time. These are the guys that are on Facebook saying, "Oh, you big bad trophy hunter shooting does." He's like, I buy doe tags and just burn them. We have we have doe tag burning parties at camp. Everybody buys a doe tag and we stand around and burn them. Okay, so you just spent $6.90 or whatever it is for nothing. And someone asked, "Well, why do you even do that? What's
Hmm.
the point?" "Oh, so someone else can't get that tag and use it." What kind of mentality is that?
Hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Um, I mean, I sort of get what they're saying. They feel like they're maybe the population in their area may not be very high. They want to see more deer, and
They
they
want
don't
to
want to
protect.
kill off. Yeah, they want to protect those does so they can have more babies. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I get that argument in a way, but in my neck of the woods here, yeah, you can go out and you might spot 50 deer, might only be one of them a buck, you know.
Well, when I came up fishing there, the second time, I think I was in July. I was there,
I believe.
or was it August? I don't know, July or August. Um, when I went to the restaurant there to eat, I mean, I was driving through those back roads. I mean, I saw 50, 60 deer, not one buck.
Right.
So in that area, yeah, I mean, you probably are overrun with those.
Yeah, they need checked for sure. Now, you didn't even hear this story yet. I took Logan, my boy, out, and we hunted Wednesday night, I believe it was, and he had a bunch of button bucks and does in front of him, and he doesn't have a doe tag. So it wasn't real exciting for him, but he liked it, you know. So I took him out last night, which would have been Friday night, and there's a couple on camera there that I kind of had marked out for him, you know. And last at opening night last weekend, that I'm not gonna say it's a big 8 point, but a medium size 8 point came out, and it was right in front of me. It was kind of tempting, but it wasn't as big as what I wanted to shoot. It just wasn't the quality that I wanted, and I thought, man, that'd be a perfect deer for him. He's never got a nice racked buck. You know, he shot a spike and a 4 point before, back when he was, you know, like 9 and 10 before his Crohn's diagnosis. And for the past 8 years, he hasn't been able to hunt. So this year, it's almost like his maiden voyage again, all over. You know, as he's trying to learn things again.
Hmm.
He's been sitting on a couch for 8 years suffering, but now he's
Now,
at a point where he can get out.
was that his idea? Like he actually came to you and said, "Hey, I want to start hunting again."
Well, I started showing him all the trail camera pictures over there at the plots. I was like, "Hey, check this out. Here's a nice one. Here's a nice one. Here's a nice one." I said, are you still interested in hunting? You know, he's like, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind going hunting someday again." I said, "Well, archery season's like here." I said, "Do you want to go again?" He's like, "Yeah, maybe I will." I said, "Well, I'll get you a tag, you know." So, I kind of prompted it a little bit, but he was interested enough to ask to go. So
Hmm.
I
What's
told
the
him
price
next.
of a resident tag?
Oh boy, I forget what I paid.
Was it like 30 or 40 bucks or something?
Hold on, I should have it in my emails
I'm
because
just
I.
curious to compare it to Maryland. Because here, by the time we have to buy your general license, which includes um, basically your shotgun tag
Hmm.
for shotgun season. Then you have to buy an archery stamp, and then you got to buy a muzzleloader stamp. Um, all said and done, and then if you hunt Sika, you got to buy a Sika stamp. All said and done, it cost me about $50.
I think it was 30 some dollars, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so if I didn't buy my Sika stamp, because our Sika stamp for resident is $10, it would have cost me about $38 to $40 or something. But
Okay.
I bought the Sika stamp, so
I must have erased it because it's not in my emails here on my
yeah.
phone. But yeah, it's I think it's in the $30 range, and then archery's another, I can't remember, 12, $15 on top of it.
Hmm. Right.
So you're under $50.
So next week,
I was
uh,
talking to the guy so much that I didn't even know. I just swiped my card and he gave me the receipt and I left. I didn't
mm,
even. But usually they send me a receipt in my email, and it's not on this phone, so it's in my emails in the computer.
so next week, today's Saturday. We're recording in between morning and afternoon hunts here.
Yeah.
So next week we may have to record on Tuesday. Um, because I leave Wednesday for Sika hunting, and I
Ooh,
won't be back until the following Sunday morning.
okay.
So we'll have to plan that out. But I'm, you know, since everybody knows, Chris went Sika hunting with me last year, and he stole my thunder. So he shot like the number 13 or 14 or whatever it is stag in Maryland. In this book here, he is listed as like the number 13 or 14 something. So I'm gonna kill you for that. But so you stole my thunder. So hopefully by either the next podcast or the podcast after that, I finally have a story to share about a Sika stag that I killed, because this will be the 4th year of me trying to kill one. And then Chris shows up, and the second day he kills one.
I had a horseshoe.
You did. So hopefully that I have a story for you guys about that in the next week or two. Um, I'm prepping for that hunt. I'm fully prepared. I have everything in order, and actually, me and TJ are going to the shooting range tomorrow morning to sight all of our guns in. I got my shotgun, rifle, and my muzzleloader we're shooting.
Nice.
Make sure all that is on, and then I leave Wednesday. I don't know, I'll probably leave around 2 or 3. We got a Airbnb. I'm gonna be checking in,
Yeah.
and um, I'm gonna do some cooking, get some food together, and then bright and early Thursday morning, I'm in the stand, riding my e-bike back to where we went,
Yep.
and back to that area. And I'm gonna be walking in, and I'm going to actually climb the same tree you were in. And it's funny because the first year I scouted that, we had all those marks in the trees that we wanted to hunt. And in that general area where you sat, I had a pin on it. It was just an area that looked good. So
Right.
all through that area is very, very good.
Hmm.
Um, it just depends, I shot one the first year, but I ended up it was a big one. Um, it probably would have scored in the mid 60s, I'd say. What was yours? 66,
No, it was
68, something?
68 something and
Yeah.
grossed over 70.
Right.
I
So
mean, it
this
was,
one was pretty I mean, it was in the mid 60s, maybe a little, maybe an inch or two more, but I
I
shot
don't,
it, and it fell over and got up and ran away. So hopefully next week or two I got a story, because this is something that I want to do, and I want to have a Sika stag on my wall, and it's a passion that I've jumped into here over the past 4 years. And
he's
Chris
addicted.
stole my passion. He stole my thunder,
He's
and
addicted.
yeah, I'm addicted to it now. And
That's all right. I'll come down next year and we'll both kill one.
I know, but you got to admit though, in the dark, sitting in the tree in the morning, and it's breaking daylight, and you hear them things. It sounds just like an elk. You
Yeah,
gotta admit that's like one of the coolest things.
it's kind of freaky.
Yeah, it's cool
Make
though.
make your hair stand up on your neck.
It was cool though, right?
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I've never
Yeah,
experienced anything like it.
yeah. So it's fun.
You
I
know,
mean, it's long, brutal
it's hard
sits.
all
It's
day
hard,
sits.
all
It
day
really
sits.
is.
You have to. It's a lot of effort, and especially with you pedaling. Um,
That was a
but
little
yeah.
much.
So enough about that. But yeah, I'm excited. So.
I'm gonna say one more mention, and then I'll be done.
Hmm.
We bragged a little bit on domains plots.
Hmm.
Bragged a little bit on raw frozen scents.
Hmm.
Now I want to brag a little bit on a limit shield.
You had bears.
Oh, today, this morning, like I said, it's Saturday morning, the 12th,
Spooky.
and went out this morning, and I had that buck come in right before dark, right before light, I should say, in the dark, to that raw frozen scent scrape.
Hmm.
And as everybody knows, we are uh, partnered up with a limit shield, and man, this stuff just works. I had 4 bear in this morning, and they came right to my tree. And
Spooky.
Mama was well over 200 pounds, but they came right to my tree, and I use a pair of helium climbing sticks, and with the lower 2 sticks have aiders hanging on them. If you don't know what an aider is, it's basically a loop that you can get another extra foot out of or whatever, like another step. But yeah, one of the cubs, probably over 100 pounds or so, was chewing my bottom aider, and then he jumped up and had his paws up on the tree and was reaching up and he grabbed the second aider. And when he did that, I leaned out over the stand and snorted at him, and they took off running. But a testament to this Limit Shield, man. It's been I was never busted last year ever
Well, that you know of.
that I know of.
Yeah.
And this year I was busted once on opening night, the night of, but she saw me moving, and that was an issue. Now, Logan, last night when I took him out, I said, "Are you all ready to go?" "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I said, "Did you shower and brush your teeth and all that stuff?" "Yeah, yeah." Got all the bases covered, right? He put stick deodorant on, Menon Speed Stick,
Hmm.
and I could smell him. Yeah, I could smell him. So I got the core body foam out, told him to rub that in real good, um, just to try to cover it up some, which it didn't cover it up totally. Could still smell him in the stand, but you didn't hear this yet. He had an opportunity last night at last light. The problem was mentally he'd given up.
Hmm.
He's like, "Dad, it's dark out here. We're not going to see nothing. If anything comes in, it's going to be too dark to shoot." I said, "Not really, son. You got a scope." I said, "That kind of illuminates things and the reticles light up in my scope." He's like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that." And he looked through the scope. He's like, "Yeah, I can still see." I was like, "Well, keep ready. Something could happen." Well, he set the bow back down. And within 2 minutes, we heard, heard the leaves in front of us. And this deer read the script, walked right up the barbed wire fence into an opening that I had a stand over. Nice, easy 12-yard shot. And he tried to pick the bow up and put it on the shooting rail, and he got it there, but the deer looked up at him. He got it, and he said, "I can't see it." I was like, "You can't see it?" He's like, "Well, I see it, but there's a branch hanging down in front of its vitals." He's like, "I can't shoot." So the deer heard us whispering back and forth and turned around, walked away. I was like, "Dang."
Yep. Well, that right there is a learning experience.
That's exactly what I told him.
Be
I
ready.
said, I said, "There's a learning experience." I said, those deer walk right before dark
You got to be ready. Anything can happen at any time.
anytime. So there you have it. That was one of my stories. A couple of my stories, actually, my bear story and that story.
Hmm.
But we're having a good time over here hunting, and hopefully I run into one of those bigger bucks.
Yeah,
Got
you're
lots of them on camera,
you're
but
going back out tonight, right?
yeah, I'm gonna go back out somewhere. I may just go over to the destination plots maybe and pack another doe. Hopefully, it's not a doe with fawns.
Yeah, I will
But
kill
I
you.
excuse me, I do need to take care of some does over there, though.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, I'm getting ready to eat lunch, and then I'll probably just take a quick shower again, and then I'm
yep, I will too.
heading back out myself here. So,
I will too, because I got sweated up. So,
yep.
well, that is 94. I don't know how you all feel about shooting a doe with fawns or
Yeah, doe in general.
doe in general. So, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking about that. And if you're over on Apple or iTunes or any of those things, Spotify, leave us a message there too. Tell us what you're
Hmm.
thinking. If
Definitely.
you have any suggestions for the podcast, leave them.
And
Hey,
wish me good luck on shooting my first sick stag.
he's got to shoot a stag because I'm tired of hearing about
I know you're tired of hearing me cry.
it. All right, folks, we'll see you later.
All right, later.